Welcome everybody to the After Dark Show. I'm Don Rogers. As you can see, thanks to Trippy Island LLC, I have an amazing new background, and I cannot thank them enough. And there's quite a collaboration between myself and Trippy Island going on right now, and I'm going to explain that at the end of the show a little bit more. Now, for those of you in the chat, you did see that we're having some technical difficulties, and right now, my guest is going to be joining us via phone because we're having some login issues. But she's actually been on the show once before. She is somebody I met at Sonia Roy's event in Drumheller, Alberta, the spiritual and metaphysical wellness fair in Sacred Valley. And it was an absolutely awesome event. And if you are in the area when that takes place, you should definitely go check it out. But I got to meet a number of people, and tonight's guest is another one of those people. And like I said, she's been on the show once before. Her name is Joy Child of the Universe. She's a fellow Albertan. She's an author. And tonight she's going to speak to us about healthy hydration, her S.T.A.R.S metaphysical program. And we're actually going to go through some more of her what ifs because you guys were eating that up last time. And I like to keep you happy. So, and she's already laughing. So can somebody in the chat let me know if you guys can hear her? Joy Child, can you say hello to the audience and let us know if they can hear you?
Hi, everyone. How are you doing tonight? Hope all is well.
So just give that about 9 seconds. There's the feedback loop on StreamYard. So I'm just waiting to see if everybody can hear her. Somebody throw a thumbs up in the chat or a middle finger. I don't care. Just let me know if you can hear. Okay, so they can hear you. So
awesome.
One of the things that we talked about at the Metaphysical Fair is you and your partner were helping promote a water filtration system, and it was the Kangen water system. And I'd really like to get into that because we didn't really have time last time because we got so far into your what ifs. So basically, I'll start at the very basic question. What is the Kangen water system?
Well, the Kangen water system originated in Japan a little more than 50 years ago. And it was brought in as a medical device for the water treatment systems in the hospital for people taking medication, helping them to recover a little faster from surgeries and for just the better overall health and well-being of the people that were in the hospital, whether they were working there or whether they were in there for surgeries or whatever reason that they needed to.
Okay. So I've watched the Pat Boone video, and if you're gonna have a sponsor, why not Pat Boone? How does the system itself work, though? Like, if you could put it into layman's terms, what exactly does it do to the water that makes it more revitalized?
Well, there's plenty of different things that are into the system itself. So the I have right now at home is the FB501, and that has seven plates to it. There's different water systems to it. It goes upon your pH levels. Mm-hmm. So you have the pH level of what is called 9.5, which is your highest pH level, which is very good for everybody's body. And that's the drinking water, as well as the 8.5 and the 9.5, or the 9.0 and 9.5 for your drinking water. It also has what's called a beauty water in there, and that you can use that for your skin, and that's 6.0. There is also acidic water and strong acidic water, which is pH balance 2.5 and 11, that you can use for when you're cleaning your vegetables and cleaning your kitchen counters or your your cutting boards and things like that. So it's not just a water system; it's a multifaceted system where you have many different buttons to push on
And
for your system.
and I think that's something a lot of us don't consider because if you go with like what we're taught in school, um basically water's water, right? And I actually found an article and I posted it on my social media. I was going to copy and paste it, and it was like so long it would have been like 50 and I just didn't have the page for it. I came was oh hold on, let's throw this up here really quick. The the oh it's gonna for me. The water in your body is not H2O, it's H3O2, and that changes everything.
Correct.
Right? And like when you start to realize that the basic, we'll call it a nutritional information that we were told. Uh oh, I guess my connection's a bit screwy and I apologize for that. But what we're taught in school is that, you just water and you're fine. But it's not just that simple. It's not as simple as going to the tap or grabbing a bottle of water. And I I think this system could actually be very, very valuable. And like you were saying, like it's not just the water in our body that we're misinformed about. It's the water that we should be using for a lot of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And water, like our bodies consist anywhere between 60 and 70% water, the same as Mother Earth. And so if you're not drinking enough water that has the minerals and the calcium and the electrolytes and the pH balances for our bodies start to not rejuvenate as well as we can maintain it
Yeah.
with normal drinking water, such as from our taps. Or, for instance, the Kangen water system has what's called an ORP, and that stands for oxidation reduction potential. So with mean oxidizers, negative numbers are antioxidants. So the bigger the negative number, the greater the oxidant potential.
Hold on. We're frozen. I'm just full of technical issues tonight. Just 1 second. I apologize.
No problem.
Sheesh. You know you're gonna try to have a good conversation when it gets this messed up this early. This is just crazy. I apologize to everybody. Um, hold on 1 second. Hon, can you turn your Wi-Fi on? I don't know if it's because I'm on the phone and it's due. Okay. I guess we're back. We'll keep going. So let's just go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, as I was saying about the OPR, Perrier water is 3.4 pH level, and the OPR, which stands for the oxidation reduction potential of a liquid, is plus. Numbers mean oxidizers. The negative numbers are antioxidant. No worries.
I think it's too much for your phone.
I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to switch phones. So I apologize, everybody. This is okay, now this sounds good. Never mind. Keep going. Holy hell. Welcome to the After Dark Show. I'm Don Rogers. How the fuck are you? Holy. Let's go.
All right, let's go. So the Kangen water at 9.5 pH level is minus 470 OPR.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, ORP. So that shows you what the difference is, or tells you what the difference is. So you get stronger antioxidants, a stronger alkaline, it's microclustering. There is so much potential with the Kangen water. It gives you calcium and magnesium and potassium and dissolves electrolytes. So you're full of when you're drinking that, you're drinking what your body really requires here.
And I do think that's something I've been looking into a lot, is the thing, the basic amino acids and minerals and things that have just, they're not in our daily diet anymore, and it's why so many of us are so unhealthy, and myself included, because right now the best I can do for myself is drinking bottled water, and I know that's no picnic for your body either, but it's where I am right now. It's better than tap, right? But
Right.
It really is. This subject has really opened my eyes to how many minerals and essential vitamins the human body are missing.
Yes.
And there's a question from the audience. So what is the PPMS?
PPMS?
Yeah.
That one I don't know.
Okay, that was just a cut.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. My buddy, he's a horticulturist, we'll call him. So he knows a lot about water. So he was probably wondering for his for plant watering, we'll call it.
Oh, plant watering. Okay, well, for plant watering, I use our 6.0, which is the clean water, and it's pH balance. So that's what I use for the plants, and my plants just love it.
That is good. Good. Oh, sorry, parts per million.
Parts per million, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody in the chat just clued me into what the PPMS was. I was like, I don't know.
I know, I wasn't thinking of it either, because there's just so many things going on in my brain right now.
Yeah. Oh, so it's parts per million, and it's regarding the hardness of the water that they're talking about.
Well, the hardness of the water isn't really what comes out. It runs through a cycle to get to the pure water. And like with the system that I have, the company, when you first purchase your machine, they send you cleaning parts, cleaning agents to go through the machine once every 3 months. So when you do that, it just helps to take out, any contaminants that have built up in your system, and you've got clean water all over again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess the next question, because we've gone through the benefits, is where can you get one?
You can get one through me. We are. Oh, there we are.
Hey, you're actually on the show. Holy shit.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Just, I'm going to hang up my phone now.
now.
Yeah, we'll just get you on here. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you are.
There, finally. Oh my
That was
goodness.
weird.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Here is Joy Child. Welcome to the show. You're actually
Yes.
here.
Yeah, I finally made it after a lot of tweaking around. I have an old computer, so that's kind of why things get mussed up. But you're a little blurry.
I don't know. I'm gonna mic weird.
Oh, okay. I love the Egyptian motif.
Yes, it's my my new background. My friend that's in the chat has him and I have been collaborating on a few projects, and he's designed new background and commercials and stuff for me. That's actually a picture of me. Um, but I'm with like aliens and gnomes and all of this stuff in my new background because we talk about just about everything here.
Right.
So we were talking about where you can get the Kangen water system.
You can get the Kangen water system through myself or my partner Ben. We are distributors for the Kangen water, so it is a team effect, and we have there's myself and Ben, of course, and then I have a team helper who got me into this, and then we have our team captain, and we all work together on helping one another with all the information and for um, getting it out there, and providing one another with some information that maybe the other one didn't know of. The gentleman that helped me get the Kangen water system. Uh, what was that? I think back in May or something like that. Um, he has been in this business for, I think it's been 12 plus years, 20 years, is somewhere in between there. So he's been well versed, and he has a lot of YouTube programs on his YouTube channel as well.
Okay. Now it always does come down, and I know these are very, very expensive items because they provide a very, very that's the way this reality currently works is, if you want to eat healthy and drink healthy water, you're going to pay for it because that's the way the system's set up. What is the retail mark on this particular system, and is there a payment structure?
There are
And
different
this is
payments.
actually
There are
this is
different
actually a
payment
personal.
structures. What was that?
I said this is actually a personal question because I want to know.
Oh, okay. Well, there are different pay structures that are available. That would be through my team leader, Creel. So he would go over that with you, with me involved as well, and or Ben. Excuse me. And what happens in the process is you're basically filling out an application. The price, there are um, different slightly different machines, that so the price varies, and the price has just changed, so I'm not quite too sure with the next level, but the one that I have, which is an SD 501, is no longer in, they're no longer making it, so we would have to go with what is called the K8. Now if you look at um, how much bottled water that you purchase per month could round up to, say it's $1.90 a bottle, and then times that
Yeah.
by however many that you purchase a year. Do you buy a 24 case? How often do you buy it? Once a week? Do you buy it twice a week?
Yeah.
You got to times it by that and figure out how much you're actually spending on bottled water. And to top it all off, bottled water has formaldehyde in it. Did you know that?
I didn't. I was aware of the microplastics, which I'm not thrilled about either.
Right, but it does have trace amounts of formaldehyde. in all plastics. And that's just dangerous. I mean, we're consuming that. Mothers using plastic bottles for their babies. We're consuming the plastic. So if you can go stainless steel or go glass, that is the way to go, and with this water system, what's fabulous is it goes straight from your tap to your glass or to your stainless steel water bottle. If you have to have 2 or 3 of them to take to work per day, then that's what you do. And I've got a picture, so let me just. And they also have a spa system too, which is something that Ben and I are looking at getting into.
Oh,
So I'm just pulling out a picture here. So can you see this picture?
pull it back a little bit. Right about there. Yeah.
So this is the picture of the Kangen water system. And all it does is it sits on your counter and you plug it into the wall, and then you have a little spout that needs to hang over your sink, because that's the discharge water that you have, and then the bigger tube is this bigger tube here is where your water comes out of, right?
Okay.
It's handy, and like you saw last year when we were at the wellness fair, we brought the machine right there so that people could see it. And so
Yeah.
you can have it in your home, you can have it in your RV. If you're going traveling, it's not just staying in your home and you can't take it anywhere, right? So that's also a bonus as well. And it helps to clear out all toxins from the water systems. And with the way our septic systems are working right now, they are filled with contamination from prescriptions. So this system helps to eliminate those pharmaceutical drugs that are in our water tables.
You actually just made me remember something. I just read this yesterday and I didn't get a chance to look it up if it was satire, but apparently they were pulling every shrimp they pulled out from the rivers in England, I think it was, tested positive for cocaine.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
And I was
Because
like,
people ingest it. You may ingest it through your nose, but it's got to come out of you somehow. So it comes through your poop or your urine, and it goes back into the water system. So no matter how good they actually treat the system with the chemicals that they do, those chemicals are only going to do so much.
yeah. Well, no, and you're drinking chemicals to purify the water. Like it's just a nasty, nasty cycle. Like,
It
and
is. It
my
is.
one of my favorite mods here has your book link up because people love your what ifs. So
Oh, thank you.
definitely we're gonna get into that later again because I found some more that I could just flip through your book and make conversation. Like it's almost it's one of those things. I think you might have mentioned this. It's one of those things you could pull out at a party and just be like, okay, but what if? And you just go from that. But we're gonna get into that later. I'm gonna do this. My
Right.
ADD is not running the show tonight. I'm gonna do
No
this in
problem.
order.
I do have to. I know a lot of people have said to me, well, I have reverse osmosis. Well, reverse osmosis takes out a lot of the minerals and the nutrients that our body needs. And they have a pH level of 6.5, where the Kangen water system has a beauty of 6.0 pH. So the reverse osmosis, the ORP, is plus 586. You don't want to be going there because that is it's in the positives, and that is not structurally helpful for our bodies. Where, like I said again, the Kangen water, the pH level of 9.5, and you can give this to your animals, you can give this to your dogs, your cats, they'll love it. If you put down a small bowl of tap water, and then say a small bowl of 9.5 Kangen water, the dogs and the cats will automatically go to the Kangen water because of the smell. And there's no smell. It's pure. And I know that when we were at the sorry, I'm just reading the tips here.
Yeah.
When they drink the water, my two cats go through 2 good-sized bowls of water a day, and they'll sit there and just drink it up.
Yeah. And I do actually have to get out to your place because she's a fellow Albertan. I've actually been over, and she, because of my stomach issues, as most of you know, we're still trying to figure that one out, has offered to generously give me a couple of 5-gallon jugs of this water so I can drink that instead of this and hopefully help some of my stomach issues.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Bite in the chat, back off of what I was saying about the cocaine in the water. She says, "Hi, I've been listening. People test positive for fentanyl from drinking tap water. Everyone tips all their, oh, I'm guessing like dumps all their tabs and meds down the drain." So exactly what you were saying. It's
Yeah,
like it's not even just the medication; it can be illicit drugs as well. Like it's really getting to
absolutely,
the point where you can't. Yeah.
absolutely. And I have a comment here too from um, the Associate Press, published March 10th, 2008. A vast array of pharmaceutical drugs, including antibiotics, have been found in the drinking water of over 41 million American households. Now, that was in 2008. So, could you imagine what it's like now when the drugs and the pharmaceuticals are so much greater than what they were in 2008?
Oh, I
You know,
couldn't even imagine. Like,
yeah, because the pharmaceutical companies, uh, they have a purpose. I don't think they
yeah.
really need to have that purpose, but that's my personal opinion. Um, just because there are, for hundreds of thousands of years, humans have been working off the plants and the herbs and everything else out in natural sources. And I think those are the pharmaceuticals that we really need to get into, not the prescriptions, but the doctors have got something going on with the pharmaceutical companies that, who knows? I mean, we can speculate all we want. You want to go a healthy way, you gotta, there are many things that have to be uh, required, and we can get into that with my metaphysical stars, because what metaphysical stars stands for is S.T.A.R.S. Stars for stands for start taking active responsibility for self. And we need to, it's not just emotional, mental, physical, but it's spiritual as well. All four of those combined, all four bodies combined, that we need to start paying attention to. You can do muscle testing. If you don't know how to muscle test, you can always email me and I can give you a call and I'll go through it. There's a lot of people that I've taught how to do muscle testing over the years have said, oh, well, that's, forward for yes and backwards for no. Not anymore. Because of what's going on with the universe, it's not just planet Earth that is evolving and expanding. It is the entire universe. The galaxy is expanding and growing. So our energies are now morphing into more than what we ever were before in our lives, in past history, if you want to call it past, because the past and the future are right now, right? So there's a lot going on, and a lot we need to get into and start talking to ourselves. And I mean, I talk to myself all the time, and I'll talk to myself in the grocery store, not out loud, but I do talk, and I listen. And sometimes what goes on in your head can come from an oligarch, and people just say, oh, the devil made me do it. Well, the devil, there's no such thing as a devil, really. It only came up with Constantine in what 500 or 300 AD, something like that. I've got it in the book. And
Yeah.
that's where all that came from.
Yeah. And they're talking in the chat about how water is programmable and conscious. And I absolutely agree with that. And I'm going to get to that. But I'm glad we kind of skirted away from opinions of big pharma, because I'd like to keep this on YouTube. And if I said what I thought, it wouldn't stay on. So
Right.
just going to shift to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have it's called a medical system for a reason, not healthcare.
Right.
That's where I'm just going to leave that. But no, I think your S.T.A.R.S program is I actually still have your flyer. And I'm going to run down the questions from it, and it'll give people a little bit better idea, because in your own flyer, you've actually set me up for all the questions I need to ask you about it, so we can tell everybody what it is. So you've done this perfectly.
Awesome.
How would this workshop benefit me?
Well, it depends on where you're at, what your mindset is, and what you are choosing. Because every moment you make a choice, and if you choose not to make a choice, you've still made a choice. So how it would benefit you is your open-mindedness. Talking about words, for instance, because that is our communication. There are a lot of words in our vocabulary that are not as positive as we think they are. For instance, when you're in a conversation and you say, yeah, but, well, whatever you said beforehand is basically eliminated. And then what you continue on, we're constantly manifesting with our words, because words cast spells. And spells, we do it all the time. And
Are you peeking at my paper?
What's that?
Are you peeking at my paper? Because I literally just wrote down spellcasting.
Oh, geez. No, it's called my crystal here.
Oh, you got me. But no, I think you're absolutely right about that as well, because it's something I've discussed, and I always get etymology and etymology wrong, and I'm probably going to do it again. So I'm just going to say, we're not taught what words actually mean in the public education system for a very specific reason. Because if we understood the meaning of everything we said, one, we'd be freaking mortified by half of the things we say to each other, and two, we wouldn't be saying half of it, and we wouldn't be giving the people who run the sociological construct that we live in what they want. We've all been programmed to speak a certain way, and it's not until you take a course like this and learn to articulate what you actually mean with intention, instead of just speaking sloppy like we've been taught, that you can actually change the meaning of your words.
Right. And also, 30 seconds before you think a thought, it has already come and gone out to the universe. So you can change your thoughts, you can change your wording, especially when you are thinking about what it is specifically you want to emit out there.
Yeah.
And being precise. I mean, a lot of people nowadays, they throw around the word hate like it is, you know, juggling balls, for
Yeah.
instance. Um, if you, like with water, who is it? I've got it on my brochure here, I think. Um, yeah, Monsieur Emoto, how he froze
Yeah.
water. We do the same thing with our words. So if you're throwing around, oh, I hate this, I hate that, I hate my job, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this, I hate that. Do you know what you're doing to your own body? Not alone what's going on out there. Everything out there is a mirror for what's in here. So if
Yeah.
you're projecting unkind things out there, it's going to bounce off of there and come right back into you. And that's where a lot of people have their difficulties with start taking responsibility for themselves, because why should I? I can just say this and that, and who cares if it affects anybody? I don't give a damn. It's not my
Yeah.
problem, it's theirs. At the same time, do you realize that it is affecting your body and it is affecting your energy? Everything comes back and back to you. And like I say, we're all about energy, frequency, and vibration. That is the triad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely. And you touched on Dr. Emoto there. And one of the things that I picked up, and Spingy does it as well. One, she'll Reiki our water, especially if we have to go to a restaurant or something, because you never know if it's tap. And two, the one thing that Dr. Emoto showed when he was freezing water is depending on the way you spoke to the water, it would leave a different impression in the water because of the vibration and the tone that you've projected into it, right?
that's
So if you speak to your water and you're not entirely sure it's that good for you, like, this,
mm-hmm.
I talk to my food and my water. Like, I drive a truck for a living, and when I have to eat out of a gas station, the first thing I do is apologize to my body when I walk into the store, right? Because I'm like, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, but we require some type of sustenance, and this is all I can do right now. I apologize, right? Talk to your body, talk to your water, talk to your food.
Yeah.
It changes the structure of it on a very base level.
Well, and what you could do too is when you're, and I know what it's like. I haven't been a truck driver, but my partner has. So he was a long haul truck driver. So I completely understand where you're going. But you can take your hands, rub your hands together, get them warm, and then put them over your food or your water that you're going to ingest. And even if you're having bottled water, take it out of the water as quickly as possible and put it in a glass or a stainless steel container. And then you just focus on that food with your hands like this, and you'll feel the energy in your hands. And then you just say, I bless this food and all the nutrients that are going into my body. Anything that is no longer of high vibration for my body will leave immediately, or as quickly as possible, right? So
Yeah.
by
No.
blessing your food, it is always good to bless your food, even if it's you're making it at home. Like every time I make a meal, whether it's scrambled eggs and spinach in the morning or whether it's, a big stew in the evening, every food that I touch gets blessed as I'm preparing it. And that is, to me, that's just the way my life has been for the past 20 some odd years. Blessing food,
I
blessing the water. When you wake up in the morning, have a glass of water beside your bed. And when you get up and you put your feet on the floor and you're still sitting on your bed, bless the water and thank the water for hydrating you, for rejuvenating your body and all the nutrients that are going into your body to have a wonderful, fabulous day. And then drink that whole glass down. Then go to the bathroom.
absolutely. And I want to go back to the hand rubbing thing because I know Jay Skyrunner, who's a past guest and a friend of mine. He's also very, very into Qigong, which is another type of energy work. And I just
Yes.
want to ask, and you can answer me in the chat, Jay. When she's rubbing her hands, is that the same as gathering chi and then projecting it onto the food? Like
Yeah.
I've nowhere near read up on this, but I'm just wondering if that's the process. Is you're basically gathering the internal chi and like projecting it on.
Yes. Yes, it does. I practice qigong fairly
Oh,
often, at least 5 or 6 times a week. Or there's days where I just don't feel like doing it, but I do my tapping and I make sure that you know you got to help your energies going along. I mean, it's just like getting up in the morning and having a glass of water right beside your bed, and grounding yourself to Mother Earth and then sending that energy up and out to the universe so you can be connected to both heaven and earth, what we call heaven and earth. um, Bringing in your chi, your life force energy, that is very, very necessary all the time. And it's not just, oh, when I think about it, it is something that is in the ancient times was very mandatory. This is the things that you do to create a healthier life, to keep going. And right now, I mean, with me on my hand, I have, which is standing for monad. So I touch the middle of my M, and I have a little prayer that I do all the time. And this helps to bring in even more fully the energies that are needed and necessary. And when I do hands on healing, I'm focused on the M's, and I've got it on both my palms, as you can see, which is very rare. So when I focus
well,
on that
shit.
and do my prayers, what's that?
I said, well, shit.
Yeah.
I do as well.
So, do you?
Yeah, I never actually looked at that.
Yes. Well, there's not many people that do have M's on both hands. That is very, very rare. Uh, and it is rare just on one hand.
Trip from the chat. He's one of my good friends. Just sent me a picture of his hand. He has it too, and him and I are very closely connected. Holy, I
Nice.
think it's a spiritual. I think it's a spiritual marker. I might be out on the woo woo branch on that one, but
No, you're
like,
not. No, no woo woo. No, so I can teach you stuff when you come over.
yeah. Um, shit. I was gonna get into something, and oh yeah, talk about synchronicity. The chat is going on about tapping. Why this is a huge synchronicity for me, I literally was just having a conversation with my wife about this last night to help deal with some childhood trauma stuff that I'm still processing through. And
Right.
it's just so very synchronistic that I am with the people that I love most in this reality. And you guys are talking about the thing that the person I love the very most in this reality was telling me about literally last night. So, hello, universe. I get the fucking message. I'll look into it. Thank you.
I'll teach you about that too.
Yeah, like it's like knock, knock, knock. Do you get it? You're
Yeah.
supposed to look into tapping. Like,
But if you think about it, all your fingertips, that's your nerve endings, right?
yeah,
Same with your toes. Your toes, all your nerve endings are in your toes and in your fingers. So when you're doing tapping, tapping on your third eye, tapping on your lung meridians, wherever you happen to be tapping the crown chakra. You don't have to, slap yourself silly. It's just a light tapping that helps with the energy to grow and flow.
I definitely have to learn more about this concept. Um, so I'm just looking here. Do you ground yourself every day? This is more of your questions from your stars, metaphysical stars. And that is a very valid question because I know not a lot of us remember to do it every day, especially if you have that 9 to 5 grind. And it really it is hard to remember. And then you catch yourself where you just feel like you're kind of like stuck in that reality, and it's like shit, I forgot to ground, right? And you can
Right.
actually feel the physiological difference.
Well, the subconscious mind, it takes at least 21 to 30 days to get a new program put into here. So when you start practicing anything, it is going to be like, oh, darn, I forgot about that. So if you consciously get into the habit of, like I said, glass of water right beside your bed, and then you, when you get up in the morning and you put your feet on the floor, grab that glass before you get out of bed. Grab that glass, thank the water for hydrating your body, for giving it the nutrition that it needs, and ground yourself to the crystalline heart of Mother Gaia, and then sending that energy back up through your body and out to the universe. That helps you ground and be one with all that is. So whatever is out there is within you. Whatever is within you is out there. Does that make sense?
It does. And I love doing this show from a very 101 perspective. And your next question does that beautifully is, do you know how to ground? If people don't know how to ground, what are some basic principles that you can do in your day to day to help ground?
Well, anytime you're drinking water, just, taking a sip, just say, I ground myself to the heart of Mother Earth. You're grounded. It's that quickly. And
That
believing it.
is
Believing in yourself,
so. The
believing
next
in
one.
your words.
No, I this is a beautiful subject because it's something I've been looking into a lot. Like, the way we speak, the intention, all of this. And this is all very, especially for people just beginning their awakening or remembering, as my friend over at BG Cast likes to call it. He doesn't call it the awakening, he calls it the remembering, because we already
Yes.
knew all of this. It's just been erased for a very long time.
Right. It's
And
been dormant.
yeah, and that's why I love doing this from that standpoint, because if people are just figuring it out, that things aren't what they seem. This is meant to be almost like a how-to, right? And like the beautiful one you just gave with water, I didn't even know that. I thought, touch ground, that kind of stuff, because those are the ones I knew of, right? I
Right.
didn't know about grounding with water. You literally just taught me something like right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had no idea. And
See,
that's
a lot of things are very simple. We've been taught that it has to be difficult and challenging, otherwise it's not worth our time, which is so false. And if we do look at things and life and ourselves and what is around us in the simplest ways, sometimes that is the most gratifying. And, it's just like, should have had a V8, right? Take a
yeah,
sip of water. I ground myself to Mother Earth.
yeah,
There you go, right?
that is that is just beautiful. And this is basically a checklist for spiritual awakening. Do you know how to work with your sacred energy? How would one go about working with their sacred energy?
Well, you can start off by having your hands together and rubbing them, feeling that energy. Try it with me right now. Put down your pen, rub your hands together. Do they feel warm?
Yes, and vibrating.
Yes. Okay, now just put them a little bit away from one another like this, and then just start expanding that energy until it starts to maybe weaken a little bit. And if it weakens, bring your hands in together. And then
That's real.
if you want to, twist your hands around like a little crystal ball and
Yeah.
expand that up and out. And just play with that energy and expanding it out. It'll go further than what you can reach, and it can go to the ends of your aura. See, no matter how big or how small you are, your aura is a whole lot bigger than you are, right?
Hmm.
So just play with that energy to begin with. Feel that. And then, if, say, for instance, say you twisted your ankle for some reason, you stepped out of the truck the wrong way, and you rub your hands together, you get that energy going, and you place that on your ankle, and you can feel that energy coming through to your body to help heal you. That's how easy it is. It is nothing that has to be drastic. It's nothing that has to be um, fearful. It's everything is energy. So why not work with the energy?
And
Instead of pushing it
yeah,
away.
no, absolutely. And like I truly believe that because I've mentioned it on the show before because it always strikes me as funny. One of the reasons my wife took Reiki was because I have so many digestion issues and she can now move the gas inside of my stomach. And well, she's my fart doula. She makes sure it goes through without hurting my stomach. And she does it all through energy projection. So I absolutely believe in all of this. Like it makes absolute sense. Like
Right,
everything in this biomolecular reality has some type of energy. So it makes
right.
sense that they're all interacting.
And you say you have an M on your hand,
Yeah.
and that can make you even more powerful with your energy to heal yourself.
Yeah. After rubbing your or after rubbing your hands, rub your fingernails together on both hands. It powers it more. Okay, well, there's
Hmm.
a further one that you can do. We're all learning today.
Yeah.
That's Jay that does the Qigong as well. So like it's kind of this like 3-dimensional conversation I'm having, like watching the chat, because they're talking about the same thing you're talking about. So I'm trying to take it all in one.
Well,
I'm a
I love
sponge.
this. I
Yeah,
love this. I love this.
yeah. Here is one I am very guilty of and still working on. Do you give your energy away to others?
Oh,
That
yes.
is one of that is one of the biggest things that I think most people don't realize is the amount of energetic seepage, we'll call it, leaking that we have.
Well,
And a lot of
yeah.
times it's the people we interact with.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether it's really seepage or leakage. I would put it that, like, are you the type of person that is a people pleaser? You sacrifice your well beingness for somebody else to be happy. It doesn't matter whether you're happy or not, but the other person has to be happy, right?
Yeah.
Um, that is basically just it's not seepage, it's not leakage. We've all been taught for thousands of years, give me your power. You don't know how to use it, you can't maintain it, so you need to give it to me. um, and and I don't want to get you in trouble here, but the Catholic Church was the biggest one of them all and still is. um, you know and I've written a little bit about that in my book, which maybe a little more in my next book. Not
Uh,
sure yet.
I've been very, very upfront about my views of religion, and I've said it many times. I got no problem with Jesus. It's his fan club that freaks me the fuck out. So, like, like,
It's the Vatican. It's the Vatican that
yeah,
freaks me out.
it really is. Like,
Because
they scare me. Yeah.
well,
Spider
they
Mike's
don't
laughing
scare
at
me.
me.
They don't scare me because I understand they're lower energies. And that's really what it's all about, is lower energies or higher energies, or um expanded energies is what I prefer to call what we're all going through now, is more expansion, because they are getting bigger, they are growing wider, and more people or more beings that are around not only this planet but this entire universe. We're all growing together.
I agree, and it seems like a lot of people in this community are having very, very similar energetic and understanding experiences, and a lot of us are having these running parallel. It is like a grand remembering, and like the synchronicities with other people that I talk to, you yourself included, like there is definitely a collective conscious stream coming through to those of us that are aware of these situations and energies. And I think the more we kind of lean into that, the broader that spectrum of information is coming through to all of us.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's like a what do you call it? Not a friend. Mine. Uh, okay. A friend of mine had said many, many years ago to me. She described what this matrix reality is really like, and I've taken those words to heart because they mean a lot to me. It's just that we're all on one island and we need to another island. Some are going by speedboat, some are doing the backstroke, some are skiing along. We all have our different ways of getting from one place to another. And it doesn't matter if you're getting there quickly or whether you're just taking your time. The point is, we all need to get going on this trip so that we can all meet up together eventually, right? And nobody is alone. We're never alone. There are so many people that come from integrity and impeccability. It is to use your discernment on who you feel is coming from integrity and impeccability and who is not. Who is being the facade?
Mm.
Who is, maybe being a psychic vampire wanting to take your energy. You know, I mean, there's always been people that way. Um, there may always be, according to things that I've heard, and where we're going on this grand journey is that we will all be of like mind. So we will all be coming from integrity and impeccability, peace, love, harmony, gratitude. Gratitude is huge, 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 huge.
It's something I tend to put out there a lot too, is like coming from creating and basically living from your authentic self. And that's the broad scope of what you're saying, is like if you're authentic to who you really are, you don't run into these things. Like it becomes much easier to go through life, right? When you're
Mm-hmm.
coming from a place of authenticity, because it's like, yeah, I told you the truth. What are you going to do about it? Right. Like, and not to be condescending or an asshole, but it's just like, no, I just tell everybody how I feel, what I think. And it's just like,
Right.
I'd rather be my authentic self. Right.
Right. At the same time, that is your truth. So your truth is not necessarily the same as somebody else's truth, but it is your truth. And as long as you stand in your truth, it's just like making a choice. You're either choosing to do this or choosing to do that. Whatever it is that you choose, and even if you don't choose, you still made a choice, right?
Absolutely. You chose not to choose.
That's right. And yes, gratitude and love go together.
Absolutely. And I wish I had the numbers with me. They found a way, and I freaking should have. I didn't know we were going to go here. They actually found a way to accurately measure the emotional frequency, and love was like eclipsed everything else by like thousands of times.
Oh, yes.
And it's actually something a podcaster and I and Spinja showed the one day, using like divining rods as well. Is like
Yep.
it works kind of like finding energy. If you get the other person and you hold the divining rods just as you're supposed to, right? Yeah, loose but not gripped. If you get the person to get into a low vibrational state of mind, they will tip in within a foot or two,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
there's no projection. If you get somebody to go back to one of their happiest memories, it'll be 15, 20 feet. And that's your energetic projection, right?
Oh,
That is your
absolutely.
emotional projection. And that is, yeah, she's, it was a wire coat hanger that we did it with that was split in half. We made our own divining rods. And
Right.
yeah, like it absolutely worked. Like we tried it several times and couldn't debunk it. Like you get in a crappy low level vibe and it's like, and it come
Mm-hmm.
right in. And it's not you with the rods, it's the other person. So it's not even like your emotion is controlling the divining rods. They're measuring your field,
Oh,
right? And
absolutely.
it substantially changes.
Yeah. Well, and you don't really need divining rods. They do help, but when you're, say for instance, you're at a mall and you're walking through, and you get that instinct within you, I need to get out of here right now. Well, that's everybody's, that's the collective energy that's going on there. That's why you want to get out of there so fast, right? Or you're driving along and you see this little shop and it's just, oh, something is just pulling me in there. And usually it's because the people that are there love their job, right? So
Yeah.
that loving energy, I worked at um, a rock store, and she sold books and CDs and yoga mats and just a vast array of things in Red Deer. I'll just do a little plug for Beth, Holistics in Red Deer. And I used to work there when she needed to do whatever she was going to do. And so as I was unlocking the door, I would say, I'm sending love out to everywhere. And all who enter will be receiving loving kindness all the time. And would you believe that almost at least 7 out of 10 times that I was there, I would sell over $1,000 in product.
That's yeah, there's something about when you know the vibe of a place and it just resonates properly. Like
And
we
people
need to
feel it,
be more aware of it.
whether you're spiritual or not, or whether you're on this path or not, you can feel it.
Yeah. It's whether or not you choose to ignore it.
Exactly.
And when you start waking up, you stop ignoring it. You're like, oh wait, what is that? Right.
Exactly.
And during this process, I've said this several times. I pretty much have gotten to the point now that I use my body as a lie detector. Like I will sit there and ask it questions that I need the answer to, and it's like, oh, I feel sick. Okay, so that's like a no. And if I get like butterflies or I'm excited, it's a yes. And if it's just kind of melancholy, it's like, who cares, right? It's inconsequential. Like my body can't even be bothered to answer the question, what does it really matter? Like it'll even call me out on that. Like if I'm
Yeah.
just wasting my system's time, it's like I'm not even answering that, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
if it's an
that's muscle
important
testing.
question, yeah,
Yeah. That's muscle testing.
yeah.
So you're on the path there, you know?
I didn't even know what I was doing, but I've been doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, listening to your
Uh,
body is very important, because this vessel is what you have. What this vessel houses your soul, your spirit, and your soul and your spirit. Well, they know what's going on, what's going to happen. Subconsciously, we're not always on the ball.
no, I like with my job, I get paid decent money to drive a giant vacuum, and it's brainless. You know, aside from when I have to drive for other people, I spend 8 hours a day thinking. That's where I come up with most of this stuff. But like I even find myself, and it's like I did it the one day I was in the truck with my wife, and we were in a very familiar area, and I started driving towards the toilet. We were there on our own.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I drive a septic truck. We were in Calgary on our own, and I was so much in autopilot, I just started doing my route, and I missed my turn, and she's like kind of looking at me because I usually don't screw up directions. I'm like, I was going to one of my locations for my job. And she's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, I was just in like full autopilot. I don't even know what I was
Yeah.
doing, right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
wrong truck, wrong person. Like, yeah, it is easy to do, and you have to like be aware of where you are, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of ties into the next thing you brought up is, do you allow other people's thoughts, words, deeds, actions to affect you in any way, shape, or form? That's something that we definitely need to protect ourselves about, because if you revert back to what we were saying about spells, right, you can't really allow the unknowing intent of other people's words
Mm-hmm.
get get into your field. I'm kind of stumbling for what I mean here, but for the most part, most of us do allow other people's actions and such to affect us. But when you think about it from the energetic projection point of like what you're actually receiving, we shouldn't, right?
Right.
And
Well,
that's
and it,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that's like, for instance, if somebody's yelling at you, what are you going to do? How's your body language? What are you thinking? You know, if
Yeah,
that person is swearing at you and yelling at you and calling you a dumbass and or whatever, you're just going to go, bugger off, get out of my face, go
yeah,
away. And you're going to turn and you're going to walk away, right? If somebody is, you know, talking to you and they're feeding you a line of bullshit and they're doing it with a smile on their face and you can feel that's what's happening, what are you going to do? Are you going to accept that, or are you going to say, you know what, that's your choice, that's your understandings, I don't agree with you,
yeah,
at the same time I'll let you do your thing and I'll do my thing. You know,
yeah.
that's what you understand. It's what you understand.
And I think that's the way we protect and balance ourselves as well, is like not getting absorbed in other people's actions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I know Spinjo was already kind of pulling at that thread about wanting to take your next workshop. Where and when is that going to be? Is it an online thing? Is it an in-person thing? What are you looking at?
Well, it can be an in-person thing. Right now, I don't have anything lined up. Being as it's still in the new year, I took basically November and December off because I needed to recalibrate, and with the 3i Atlas and everything else that's going on, I'm still working through the energies of all that, and as many people are probably going through, this is an exhausting period for a lot of us, and
Yeah.
a lot of people that are the way showers, um, are feeling these energies a lot more, and so I'm just taking things as as they go along. I'm open for one-on-one classes, or if, like, for instance, Binja wants to get a couple of friends together. I don't care if it's men and women or teenagers or just a group. I'm good with anybody who wants to understand or who wants words of wisdom that they possibly never thought of before, or talked to anybody before of, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
where
oh, good.
those classes are going to come in, and yeah, we'll just take it as it goes.
If somebody else, like say somebody in the States or whatever, wanted to reach out to you for the information on the courses, that's something that they could contact you about online, and you
Yes.
guys could have conversations that way as well.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And then also, when you do get a chance to come out here, I know you're one of the things you wanted to do was get me up on YouTube as well. And there's been quite a few downloads that I've received that I'm to express about, sharing the wisdom. Um, Whatever wisdom it is that comes through me is not mine, it's everybody's. And that's what we're here to do, is to share. Doesn't matter whether you just started opening up or whether you've been opened up since you were 4 years old like me. It all somebody's okay. I gotta get
Is
this
somebody
out.
bugging you?
Okay, somebody has had trouble talking before they passed. Um, Anybody in the audience there anybody that was really hard for them to talk. Because
If you need to
their
get water or
family.
something, by all means.
No, this is coming from spirit. Their family member wants them to acknowledge that they are okay, and that the problem that they had with their um, talking, uh, for whatever circumstance they were in, they they couldn't talk before they left, but they can talk now. And now they can talk and they can send their love and their light. I don't know who that's for. I don't know where that came, but now that I've got that message out, my throat is clear. Thank you.
I think I know who it was for.
Okay.
And it's you're very accurate in what you just said. I'm not going to divulge details of people's personal lives on the air, but
No,
what you
no.
said is relevant.
Okay.
Oh, there's that as well. There's a couple of people that might be relevant for too, actually.
Good.
So you
I
might.
didn't. I don't get names, but I usually like when a person has had a hard time uh, with their final days here, and the spirit definitely has affected my throat quite often, especially when I was a cashier at a grocery store, and it was like every sixth customer or 10th customer would come through, my throat would start closing up, and it's just like, oh, okay, somebody who has to say I'm sorry. And it's hard to work like that sometimes, when you're out in the public.
I Yeah, I have a hard enough time when I have things come through dealing with it when I'm on the show.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I've had issues with other people talking while I've done this. Uh, we're coming up on 90 minutes already, and this has been crazy. Like between technical issues and getting into this, but I have my favorite part. We're gonna do some more what if right now because this one tickled me, and you have to be of a certain age to understand this, and hopefully Joy Child can explain this. But what if the harmonic convergence in 1987 was about raising our energetic levels of consciousness as well as shifting some of our chakras back to their original states? Can you tell everybody what the harmonic convergence of 1987 was and what you're talking about?
Well, the harmonic convergence of 1987 was a very powerful convergence that had gone on with not only the Earth, but with the universe as well. And what it was to start awakening more people. I think in the 60s, there was the part of us that were starting to wake up, the flower power, the flower child, type of thing. And if you're not old enough to remember the 60s, well, lucky you.
Yes,
But with the harmonic convergence,
by
it
that
was just,
much.
yeah. Well, with the harmonic convergence, it was just a little more. It was like a little poke into the fire to get people to start opening up and expanding their craniums, and the energies that were going around. Uh, so that's what that was about. And with the heart chakra, the information that I received as I was probably about 15, 20 years ago, as I was in a course, an energy course, they had shown me that the base, what I call the base chakra, everybody calls it the root, but actually the roots are in your feet. That's where the root chakra is. They seem to think the seventh chakra or the base chakra is the root. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But that is red. When hundreds of thousands of years ago, it was the heart that was red. That's why that's why the heart is red, is because that's where the heart chakra should be, and the red chakra should be is in the heart, and then the base chakra should be.
That makes sense. And I wanted to bring something up because we were talking about drugs earlier. And it's something I've noticed about the 60s and the harmonic convergence time frame is when it seemed to be an influx of factory drugs as opposed to like things like marijuana or plant medicines kind of falling to the wayside during both of those periods because the cocaine boom of the 80s, and we all know what happened with the CIA in the late 60s, early 70s with heroin. It does seem to be that when the energetic frequency bumps up, there's an influx of terrible
lower
narcotics.
lower vibrating energies to help bring that down. Now, you can call it the world management team, you can call it the oligarchs, you can call it whatever it is that you want to call it. I call it simply lower energies influencing as best as they can to keep the power, to keep the control. And one way to do that is get people subjected to whatever means that they possibly can hand out easily and freely as much as possible. So it's like having a conversation with somebody that is how would I say, fear based. So when you're talking to somebody that's fear based, are you going to accept that energy or not? And
Yeah.
it's like, for instance, watching the news, whether it's CBC, CTV, uh, global news, whatever news channel you want, they are programmed by federal governments. And this goes way down the line, and we all know where it goes,
Yep.
to keep the fear going. And, like, I used to watch the news. I haven't watched the news for probably about 8 years, something like that. But I do recall that the last time I watched the news, they had like a 20-second clip on somebody, I think, saving somebody or helping somebody out. Something that was joyful, something that was just, it was beautiful. It was seeing the harmony between people, and that was about a 20-second flick. And then, oh, by the way, the massive crashes going on here and there, political, or gold is falling, or the sky is falling, the sky is falling, like, if we keep people in the fear of everything, then we have control over them. And when we have control over them, they will do as what we want them to. They will be the robots. They don't want us speaking for ourselves. They don't want us thinking for ourselves. They never have for at least the past 500,000 years. Because when we think for ourselves, when we speak for ourselves, when we take responsibility for our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions, we become powerful, and they cannot control us.
No, and that's I don't want to sound like an anarchist, but I think everybody in this community is a little bit at heart is becoming ungovernable, and that's kind of the goal is to regain control of our own lives because society is the fucking trap. We're supposed to be living in communities and family units, not society. But that's a whole other crazy rabbit hole rant that I won't get into.
Well, as soon
We'll
as
do.
I could sign those papers or sign my name on that freedom referendum, oh yeah, I was there in a heartbeat.
We found one. So
So
we'll do one
did
more.
we.
Yeah, we'll do one more, and then if you want to stick around, you can. I mentioned off the top of the show that I've been doing some collaboration with Trippy Island Productions, and I want to tell you guys we're going to be working together a fair bit. And it's going to be about stuff like this. He's been really pumping out the healing frequency videos, the meditation videos, been putting out some amazing content. So we have decided to form the collaboration known as Tripping the Fourth Dimension. And we're going to be putting out some work together and some co-projects. And after we do this what if, I'm going to share an ad that he made for BG Cast, who is having a life transition and starting a business in Ontario, Canada, which he came from Colorado for the love of his life, Diana, over at Transcending Ascension. They fell in love on the internet and they're now together. So I'm trying to help him, and so is Trip, and he's made him an ad. And there's also a song about my near-death experience, and this one was created from Kyla's point of view. And it is a very emotional country song. And the reason I was saying you can stay or you can go is it is 7 minutes long, right? So, and it does have some cursing in it. So I'm just being totally upfront with you. If you don't want to stick around for
No
the song,
problem.
totally understand. But I will get into the what if all these underground tunnel systems through our planet were created millions of years before our time now. Tunnels that were created to save humanity during strong environmental changes like the Great Flood or ice ages that have occurred on the planet. This is a way that I've never actually looked at where these tunnels came from. I never thought to like go back that far. And that almost leans into like, is there an inner earth? Because like there's certain areas on this planet that we're not allowed to go. And who gave anybody permission to tell us we can't go somewhere on the place we were born?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, no, tunnels have been around for hundreds of thousands of millions of years, really. If you look at it from the native perspective, where we're in the fifth life cycle of Earth, um, and also, well, even before that, why I say, scientists have said that this planet Earth is billions of years old. Well, they can date back that because Mother Earth was Tara in the fifth dimension. And then things happened, and she went from the fifth dimension down to the third dimension, where she became Sophia. And this is where a lot of things have happened with the Earth, especially going through, different cataclysms, whether it be earthquakes or tsunamis or whatever it was. And our space brothers and sisters, have always been there to help us. So they would help the people in that area dig underground tunnels, which, yeah, you could liken that to like Middle Earth type thing. And if you're gonna sneeze, just sneeze.
No, I don't know if I've caught your throat thing because I'm hacking now.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, mine's not catchy. They just come through. Anyways,
Yeah.
the people and their space and the space brothers and sisters needed to keep at least uh, a small majority or minority of human life alive, so they could continue the expansion of humanity, right? And this would, the whole story of Adam and Eve just doesn't add up to me, and I think that's probably why I got kicked out of Sunday school at the age of 4 years old, because, like, well, if Adam and Eve were the only two here, how did this planet evolve to more than 4 people?
Hmm.
Really?
Oh,
So,
yeah,
yeah, so
I
making these
down that one too.
underground caverns. Yeah, underground caverns where they had plenty of food, they had plenty of animal livestock under there. What they did to go to the bathroom, I don't really want to know. But I would
Yeah,
imagine they would have had to make something up. Anyways, yeah, so that's been going on, and it's all over the planet. They're discovering it everywhere, not just over in Iraq, Iran, all those places. You know, Egypt. If they're just finally discovering now that under the Sphinx, which I was, again, 20 years ago, I was informed. They actually, in a meditation, they actually took me under the Sphinx, and I did see the library under there. You can in 3D to see a lot of these things. Once we get into 4D, things will become a little clearer. Once we get into 5D, they will open up, because our understandings and the visions and the wisdom that we're receiving is going to be more clearer and more concise.
I think that's absolutely right. That that just seems to be the way it's going, and given what I experienced during my own hypnosis and stuff, I know you can unlock so much out of your subconscious when you're doing these meditations and guided meditations and stuff. Like I I believe there's a lot more going on, and a lot more has gone on than we even understand or have had explained to us in history. So like you've shifted my thoughts on why there's underground tunnels for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, and history is always dictated by a winner, right? Um, I mean, that has been a known fact for as long as I can remember. Um, whoever has had the victory has told the story, and they told the story the way they wanted to be remembered, not
Eh,
actually what had transpired,
Well, yeah.
right?
We could go to the King James version of the Bible. Like it's called that for a reason. It's the way he wanted it told, right? Like,
Exactly.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Exactly. Same with
so before,
Alexander the Great. Any stories of Alexander the Great is all about his perception of it, right?
oh, exactly. Uh, um, so I still have it right here. Where can people get What If? Because I'm telling you, even if you just don't sit and read this cover to cover in one sitting, you can crack just about any page and make yourself think. So where can people get that, and how far are you on the next one?
I've I well, as far as getting the book, let's start with that. You can get that at Amazon.ca or Amazon.com if this is going out to the United States. Uh, it's available both. And when you do, I would really greatly appreciate. Yes, it's on there, and then there's a lot of others. You can go to like Amazon and type in the toolbar "What If dot dot dot" by Joy Child, and my book will come up. Um, and the more people that I can get to give a reference of their thoughts on that book and how it is, the more uh, the more people it can reach. And that's what I'm looking at with this book is getting it out there to people that do have questions, or people that Oh, wow. I never thought of that before. You know, like you've said that quite a few times, that there's questions in
Yeah,
that book that you never even pondered, never even came to mind. And,
yeah.
you know, like these are the kinds of things that have gone through my mind. You know, my mom read my book and she goes, "Oh my God, I never thought you'd think those things. Holy cow." You know, she was amazed.
Yeah.
So we
No,
all have to.
it is a thought-provoking work. That's all I can say. It and I love that it just comes at it from the what if perspective. Like, because that's you've taken it back to baseline thinking. And I absolutely love that because like we don't ask ourselves enough questions. We just go through life and don't question anything. And I think that book is a great way to get your brain going. Even if you're just having a dull day, pick it up, look at a couple of pages, and you'll get thinking of something. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, that book took me almost 8 years to do, and it was about a year, almost a year on the computer. You know, just figuring out how to do it and how to get it published and what have you. Um, and yeah, you know, like things that were happening in my life, you know, or in conversation with somebody, and somebody would ask something, and it's just like, I need to ponder that question, right? And just think about it and feel it, and you know, and then there's a lot of times where I had to go through meditation to get a clearer perspective of things. There are also a lot of the questions, the what ifs in my book that I have retained memory from the time I was 4 years old, which was a very, very, very long time ago.
Oh,
Many, 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 many moons ago.
oh dear. This has been another wonderful conversation, despite all the technical hiccups, and it's almost like the ones we know mess with us know when it's going to be a good one because I always get fucked with. I don't have another way to say it. Off the start of a really good show, and it's like, no, this has been great conversation. This has been great in the chat, and I can't thank you enough. And I want to thank everybody in the chat for doing this as well. And if people want to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you on Facebook as well, right?
Yes, under Joy Child Universe, it's supposed to be UNIVERSE, but uh, they haven't let me change it, so the spelling is, you know, Joy Child, UNVIERSE.
I'll I'll put it in the description too. So we like the whole video, and when it goes to audio, we'll make sure it's all
Yeah.
in that. I am going to air those two things. The first one's only like 10 seconds long. And like I said, this was made by Trippy Island Productions for my friend who is just starting up his business. And then I'll throw this one on.
Hey, Norfolk County. Home needs fixing? Freedom Handyman Norfolk handles repairs, renovations, snow removal, and more. Small team, big results. Check out for Freedom Handyman Norfolk on email today. Freedom Handyman, ready for you.
So if you're in the market for like a business ad or digital creation like that, you definitely want to get a hold of Trip Joe. His real name's Joe, but you definitely want to get a hold of him because I have never seen somebody create content like this. And I several months ago was like not on board with this whole AI thing at all because I thought it was just copy paste and bull crap. And it's like he has shown me a side of this, and the song I'm about to play actually is what changed my perception about it because I thought it was like what we're told. It's emotionless, it's cold, it's stagnant, it's sterile. Well, the song that I'm about to play, AI researched the internet for the multiple interviews my wife and I have given on my near death experience in 2024 when my heart stopped for 2 seconds. which was a very traumatic experience for both of us. And my version of the song is much more aggressive and will be released tomorrow. So I'm going to say that hers kind of comes off as a country rock feel, but it changed my perception about whether or not AI music could contain emotion, because it researched to such a depth. It wrote the perfect song that even my wife has said she couldn't have wrote it better. And Joy Child, if you want to stay, you're welcome to. If you want to go, absolutely. I will give you that choice because it is 7 minutes long.
Okay, no, I'll stay. And also people can get a hold of me at joychild369@gmail.com.
I love the 369 because I know why it's there. All right. So this is called Don't You Dare Volume 1, because that is literally what she yelled at me in the astral to pull me back to my physical. So thank you so much for putting emotion into words, Trip, because this one really explained it perfectly.
Oh, honey, I saw you slipping away that night, just squeezing tight like a noose in the fight. But don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare leave me here. I was on the phone about that damn inheritance goal, whipping up supper in our kitchen so cold. Then your heart went roll, tighten up like a vice. Emergency lights flashing, nitro cold as ice. Morphine hit hard, you puked like a storm, skin crawling off, feeling so fucking torn. You fought it at first, claws digging in deep, but then you let go, and I started to weep. Don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare slip away. Don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare cross that line into that orange glow, warm as hellfire wine. Unconditional love, wrap you up so tight, lyrical hum calling you into the night. But don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare leave this fight. I yanked you back, swinging, holding on with all my might. You merge with that energy, big as the sky, feeling like home after a lifetime of lies. Orange, yellow blaze, pure fucking bliss in the air. But a voice boomed like thunder, cutting through the glare. Don't you fucking dare, like a PA in the storm, reminding you of me, keeping your heart warm. I saw it too, foggy vision of you, drifting near toward that same glow, drowning out my fear. But don't you fucking dare disappear. Don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare cross that line into that orange glow, warm as hellfire wine. Unconditional previous close calls, but I ain't having that. Now in meditation, I bargain with the void, healing your body, fixing what's destroyed. Reality's a set, conscious code we play. Humans vessels for ETs, ego death away. Death's just a reset, interconnected source. But don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare take that course. Don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare cross that line into that orange glow, warm as hellfire wine. Unconditional love, wrap you up so tight. Lyrical hum calling you into the night. But don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare leave this fight. I yanked you back screaming, holding on with all my Don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare. Eyes open wide, you smirk like a fool. I did it again, but honey, that ain't cool. Came back awakened, seeing through the veil. But don't you fucking dare, don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare.
So that was created by Joe over at Trippy Island Productions. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of collaborating and doing it under the heading of Tripping the Fourth Dimension. Every word of that song happened. Everything in that song is 100% accurate as to the events that took place when I died. The emotion that the program was able to, no, I'm going to fix that, because the way Joe is able to use AI as a tool and the way he wrote the prompts in order to create that song is truly phenomenal, because it is, I can visualize the experience every time I listen to it, and not in a painful way. And I never thought that I would hear it put so heartfelt that the first time I heard that, her and I both openly wept because it was that deep. And 2 months ago, I'd have never believed I'd be saying these words, but I am. That AI is definitely a valuable tool in the creation process. Now, what's really exciting about this is that the woman that sung at our wedding has now agreed to try to learn this in real life. So it's going to go from an AI creation to a real world singer. That is using AI as a tool, in my opinion. Absolutely. Because I didn't have time to write that song. Kyla didn't have time to write that song. Nobody did. And it never would have got written if it wasn't for Joe. So thank you so much, my friend. And speaking of Joe, right after this, go over to Trippy Island LLC, because we're going to have the After Dark after party where I change my shirt, throw on a ball cap, and we just kind of shoot the shit, listen to music, and have a good time. So, on that note, Joy Child, I want to thank you one more time for being here. And is there anything else that you want to close out on? And thank you for being such a sport and sitting and listening to that song.
Well, thank you for having me on again. I love it. We can do this again and again and again and again, and I'll never get tired of it. I did thoroughly. You sent me that song, or you sent it out on Facebook, and I did listen to it on Facebook to begin with. And there's just something about that I gotta say, I'm glad you came back.
I had stuff to do.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely right in her explanation of it. Is I saw something warm and shiny and felt like love and kind of forgot what I was doing. And she said if she honestly believed that I wanted to go, she wouldn't have interfered. But it was me having a Hobbit moment of, oh my goodness, there's home and I'm going. And she's like, no, wait a second, do you know what you're doing? Because you're not going to get back, and pulled me back. But
Well, maybe we
I'm
can
glad
talk
it
about
came back too.
uh, near-death experiences as well. I mean, I'm not too well versed in it. At the same time, we all have exit points, and myself personally, I've had at least 10 in my life, where I could have gone,
Yep,
and I didn't, and I'm still here. So we all have work to do.
absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself, because we've talked about that. Kyla and I have talked about that on multiple times. The choice points in life, like
Mhm.
you can
Mhm.
choose to do this or that, or you can live or die. Like you literally, my friend Lee in the audience got a double lung transplant, and I talk about this all the time. Got a double lung transplant, was supposed to be in a coma for a month, and woke up and called me that day
Mhm.
because he made a choice that he wanted to be there that bad, and he wasn't sleeping for a month. The
That's
crazy
right.
ass put himself through hell recovering from a double lung transplant, but not only did he survive a very high risk operation, he was awake the same day.
But
And
he also has the wisdom and the understandings that anybody else going through that experience, he has experienced it too, and he can share his amazing wisdom that he garnered from that experience, like
yeah,
we all can.
absolutely. And I think that's a great place to close out for tonight. So, once again, I want to thank everybody for joining and participating in the chat. And if you're listening to this in the future, I love you guys, and I appreciate you listening. And like I always say, if you can, please go outside, because it's a lot better than sitting in front of this screen. I love you.
Love and gratitude.